You asked before about the whole hodgepodge of artists. B.A.S.E is myself and FAT, produced by Mr. J. So it's three people. Mr. J is the producer.
It's a holy trinity.
Yeah, and
yes.
Mr. J is the producer behind True School, which is him and Nice Crispy, and then obviously I'm my own solo artist or whatever. So, and I do a lot of work with Mr. J, whether it's solo tracks or.
So if Mr. J is the Holy Ghost, who's the father and who's the son between you and FAT?
I would definitely be the father.
Okay.
Definitely be the father. Father/founder of the group or whatever. He's like my little brother, man. But like his music, like it just exploded exponentially from a talent standpoint. I mean, and that's all built off of writing, being in the studio, and just putting in work or whatever. And I mean, it was pretty quick too, because it was. I mean, that's my dude. Like the first time I heard it, it was like, eh, and then a year later, it's like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
Like, let me sign him up.
Yeah.
So we've been doing tracks together ever since, and he's actually my one of my favorite MCs.
So you were recently, I think we need to talk about this too. You were recently in DC.
I was.
Around what was the date? January 12th? 20th? 20th. January 20th.
I was.
A day that will, I think, forever live on in history. As fumbled as the lines were that day and whatever went wrong, the day itself...
Shout out to the Chief Justice.
Will forever live on. And, yeah, so I think let's talk about that. I mean, where do you see the first black president taking us and changing things, and where do you see that going, and how do you see it affecting hip-hop? Because that's the thing with the content being, it's always been this will never be. Well, now it is. Yeah, like how is this going to change?
I actually downloaded the official Obama mixtape before the election came out, and it has that Tupac line. I know it seems heaven sent, but we ain't ready to have a black president or whatever. And now we have a black president or whatever, and like
that song is officially now an oldie.
Yeah, you can't really use that. You can't really use that line anymore. Right. But I mean, just being down there, all those people, man, it was beautiful. I mean, and it wasn't just a black thing. I mean, I know I was joking around earlier about the white girls, or not joking about the white girls.
Not about the girls.
But it was white people, black people, Hispanic people, gay, straight, whatever. Everyone was just happy to see the country take a different step forward or whatever, and not erase that stain from our record, but something,
acknowledge it and
more
move
than
on.
Acknowledge it and more than symbolic, because I think it wasn't about what color he is, but who he is, and that's why the people got together and elected him. How I see him affecting hip hop. Hip hop is always going to be edgy. So it's always going to say the things that everyone else is afraid to say. It's always going to talk about the plight of the black community, or not even just the black community, but community of that particular artist as they see it. Whatever. So whether they're black, white, whatever, it's that honest, just raw expression of what they see or whatever, and how they see it and how they feel about it. But I do think there's already songs that have come out, like my president is black with Jay-Z and Young Jeezy on it or whatever. And just it's very positive, and it's that, I guess, kind of thing. Like I had very good parents growing up or whatever, so I never felt like there wasn't anything that I could do, and that's kind of reflected in my performance name or whatever, because Infinite Skillz is, on the level you think this is a cocky bastard or whatever, like he can't do everything, but my parents made me feel like I could do anything I wanted to do or whatever, whether that be TV, whether that be journalism, whether that be hip hop, or teach English in college, which I've also done.
DVD authoring,
I do my concert, turn around the next day, shoot your concert, and then edit it together, whatever. We do what we do, but like they instilled that kind of confidence in me, so that I felt like I can do that. And I think Barack Obama does that for people who didn't necessarily have those good parents at home. The little black kids or whatever that may not necessarily have their dad in their life or whatever, and they're being raised by their grandmother or their white woman mother or whatever. So you see how we brought that back.
Exactly.
It's all about the white women. But you know, he instills that kind of hope, that kind of confidence, because the problems that we have in this country are not going to be solved by one person, by any elected official.
Exactly.
We all got to dig in and get dirty and you know, work that hustle muscle or whatever, and make our own little area better. So.
But having enlightened leaders, you know, ultimately is, I think, the point.
Having leaders.
Ultimately the goal, you know.
Actual leaders.
Right, exactly. Somebody who is able to take an integral or an inclusive or a holistic perspective, as opposed to somebody who just...
I heard a very politically correct assessment of the differences between our current president and our former president, and it said that the current president is a lot more introspective and inquisitive than the last one.
Yeah.
And I take that as, you know, just flat out being intelligent and involved and trying to know everything that they can possibly, because knowledge is power, and that'll help you fix some of the problems.